It says I am live. I really hope I am. Happy Monday to one and all those watching this in the live for the live show. And then for those watching this on replay, hashtag replay crew. July 19th, 2021, on a big day with big news out of Dish. Dish Wireless, what I guess we can also call Project Genesis for the time being. This is also going to affect Boost Mobile, Ting Wireless, and Republic Wireless. And we have ourselves a new partnership. I've said it on several different occasions, Tyrone, and for those of you that, you see the bottom right-hand corner there, Tech Life channel, Tyrone is with me tonight. Tyrone, welcome to the show. Carlos will be here shortly. And then we're also expecting Moose, so we have a full panel for you guys. And, man, it's huge news, Tyrone. When I woke up and was on my way to work, and I'm reading this news release, the first story that I found was from CNBC. And then it started showing up on all the outlets that are more like tech-related. So, like Verge and Engadget and all these other things. And I thought to myself two things, actually. Number one, I'm not surprised. I really felt like the writing was on the wall. I even made the prediction last week or 2 weeks ago. I knew that the relationship between T-Mobile and Dish was severed. And based on the movements of the two companies, they just didn't seem long for each other. I just didn't see it lasting. The relationship between the two companies is so poor, I almost felt like it was inevitable at some point. I didn't know when. I wasn't going to call it, but I literally felt sooner than later. So to me, it's not surprising that it happened. I don't know if I could have predicted it would have happened this swiftly and this soon. So I'm surprised at how fast, but honestly, when you think about a guy like Charlie Ergen and Dish Wireless, right? They're unorthodox, they're different, they got to do things in a different way. I'm not surprised that they did this. And now that I think about all things in totality and what's been going on, I guess I really shouldn't be surprised that something was going on behind the scenes for the last year, probably. This, you tell me what you think, Tyrone. This has to have been ongoing conversations between, the leadership at AT&T and Dish Wireless. It's probably been going on in discussions for several months. Would you agree?
Yes, I think it's been ongoing for several months. I think it started backtracking to last year when Dish and T-Mobile had that dispute about that Band 71 situation with the leasing and T-Mobile using it to their benefit in the marketing. I think back then Charlie was like, okay, I can't deal with these guys, and we only know what we see in the media. The disputes behind closed doors could be even worse. I mean, these guys could be throwing each other middle fingers. I mean, we don't know. We're not part of the meetings and the discussions. So Charlie seems like that guy that has a short temper. So he's like, I'll entertain you for this amount of time, but okay, this is getting silly now. I'm gonna move forward with my company. He knows his satellite business is not necessarily doing too well. So he had to get into wireless, and he knew he needed to enter the wireless industry with a big bang in order for his company to thrive. I mean, I know Sling TV is doing well, but he needs more. And if T-Mobile wasn't going to get him there and hinder him and negatively affect them with the CDMA shutdown, he was going to look elsewhere. And he did just that.
I'm going to go ahead and read the press release for those of you that maybe you have just caught wind of it. You're just coming into the live stream and you haven't seen or heard the news. Let me just read a couple of bits and pieces from the Fierce Wireless article. This was actually, I think, written by Monica Alvin, who I enjoy reading very much, actually. So you guys can check it out, fiercewireless.com. Dish Network signs a 10-year agreement with AT&T. That makes AT&T the primary network services partner for Dish MVNO customers. The deal is worth at least $5 billion. The agreement means AT&T will provide network services for Dish Boost Mobile, Ting Mobile, Republic Wireless, and will replace T-Mobile as its MVNO partner. AT&T is also providing transport and roaming services as part of the agreement to support Dish's future 5G network. And within the press release, Tyrone, we just got a few details. We didn't get every little bit of, information all at once. But, let's backtrack a bit. The reason that this happened is because of the inability of Dish and T-Mobile to have a healthy business relationship. As a part of the T-Mobile and Sprint merger, Boost Mobile had to be spun off and kind of just had to go to Dish in this. And then that was supposed to serve as the springboard for Dish's, network as the fourth wireless provider. So it gives them a base of customers. It gives them operations and wireless telecom. That's not one of the big three, right? So the idea is that T-Mobile was going to be this facilitator. For those of you out there that don't know what a facilitator is, please look up the definition. A facilitator, and I'm big on that word facilitator because I'm an educator, I'm a school teacher. I am a facilitator of students, right? In basketball, point guards are often facilitators. They help put others in positions to succeed. T-Mobile was supposed to be that for Dish. They agreed to it. Dish has come out on multiple occasions and indicated to the FCC, the DOJ, and lawmakers that T-Mobile has been behaving in an anti-competitive nature, thus violating the terms of their role as the facilitator in the T-Mobile and Sprint merger. Many things have been brought to light that are going on between these two companies. Overall, it's a very toxic, unprofessional, and dead-end business relationship. It's really bad. So this dates back to last year. At the start of the pandemic, Charlie Ergen allowed carriers to utilize his Spectrum licenses to add additional capacity to networks in the onset of the pandemic. March, April, May, June, July came along, and T-Mobile was utilizing Dish Network's 600 megahertz licenses. It gave them great capacity. People were reporting speeds that were double what they got before. So it was great. It was very good. It came to a point where Charlie Ergen literally said to T-Mobile, okay, you've been using this enough without paying. We need to establish some type of a lease agreement. We're business partners anyways. We're wrapped up in this merger. Let's make a deal. T-Mobile responded by sending a letter to Dish saying, we don't want to pay for it. We want it for free. That's where all this stems from. Fast forward a couple more months, Charlie Ergen and Mike Sievert and the legal teams of these two companies are at the table with the DOJ's antitrust, making a new spectrum agreement because they couldn't do it on their own. That's where all of this stems from. And then it's only gotten worse over the following year with the situation with Boost Mobile and CDMA. T-Mobile wants to shut down CDMA, the 3G. It's estimated that 1 to 2 million customers on Boost still utilize it as a primary connection. They have old legacy devices, and they need to upgrade, but they're not upgrading. So Dish is trying to buy time to get those customers upgraded. And T-Mobile is trying to accelerate that decommissioning. Herein lies the problem. Dish needs facilitation. They're playing from behind. They have no foundation in wireless. So when the DOJ and the FCC approved this merger, the concept of facilitating Dish and enabling them to succeed and getting off to a good start, that responsibility was put on T-Mobile as a concession of the merger. You want to consume Sprint? Get rid of a competitor? Fine. You need to facilitate Dish. You want all those Spectrum assets? You need to facilitate Dish. Right? T-Mobile said, sure, we'll do it. We'll agree to everything. But they're not behaving in a way that's actually helping Dish. So Dish pivots. They're going to go with AT&T for everything they would have needed from a roaming access partner in what they had with T-Mobile. Now they've got it with AT&T. So that's the history, and that's where we're at today. Tyrone, did I miss any details in there?
No, I think you covered it all. Except, I mean, Dish hasn't gotten off the ground in terms of a postpaid offering, and they're already having to make these kind of moves. That lets you know that partnership with T-Mobile, it just wasn't going to work out.
It was toxic. It was bad.
No
I
more.
think they made a big mistake. I think this is really going to come back to haunt T-Mobile. This is the worst thing that could have happened, and I'm going to tell you guys why. The best case scenario was Dish was set to succeed in wireless. That's the best case scenario. We need Dish to compete. We need them to win. They can't be a loser carrier. They can't offer crappy service. It can't be second rate. T-Mobile in this was going to have an agreement with Dish where they're getting paid for the customers on Dish and Boost and all these other companies. They pay for the access. So Dish gets network access while it's building out its own national network, and then T-Mobile gets paid in this. That falls through completely. It failed. So now, not only do we have a lack of facilitation by T-Mobile, but now T-Mobile's not getting paid. Please explain to me, anybody out there, how T-Mobile's better without Dish. How is T-Mobile's revenue situation better without 9 million Boost customers? And Ting, and Republic, and Dish Wireless, and Project Genesis. How is the future of what T-Mobile is doing, how is it better without those? I don't see it. I don't see how it's better.
None.
I mean, here's the AT&T deal. It's starting. Bare bones is worth $5 billion. What company just doesn't care to lose $5 billion? And the spectrum assets that AT&T is now going to have access to. I think there's a lot of winning in this, and there's only one carrier that's not winning, and it's T-Mobile. I mean, maybe you could argue that maybe Verizon kind of missed out on this. I don't know if they were ever on the table for this. But
you never know.
Who knows? I just know that this is bad for T-Mobile. They lost out on a revenue stream. You know? And honestly, T-Mobile has a ton of spectrum. A ton. Their network was never going to be congested from Boost Mobile and Project Genesis. You know?
And they really don't need the extra 600 megahertz either.
No.
That was not really a big deal. They just really needed to put Dish in that position because of the merger. That was a part of the agreement. T-Mobile didn't really want Dish to succeed at all, but you know, they tried to bury them right off the bat. But again, they didn't need any of the spectrum. They just did it because of the DOJ and FCC said so.
So, you know, when I think about the way that this whole thing played out, the only thing that makes sense, the only thing, based on the way that the companies were moving, is Dish was trying to milk the game for everything they could. Because remember, they're starting from the bottom, right? They have nothing except some spectrum. And T-Mobile they weren't really willing to play nice. And, I mean, the way you know is they couldn't form a spectrum agreement. That's how you know. T-Mobile literally said, we don't want to pay for it. Simple as that. So you mean to tell me that that's not anti-competitive? They were willing to pay Columbia Capital. Remember that, Tyrone?
Yep.
Right? Didn't they lease that 600 megahertz for 3 years?
They sure did. They were willing
and they
to pay
paid them, didn't they?
They sure did. Yeah.
Hell
They sure did.
So they were willing to pay a holdings company, but they weren't willing to pay Dish. That's anti-competitive. They didn't want to pay their competitor, this little itty-bitty carrier who hasn't even started yet. They wanted to, bury them before they even got started. Tyrone, I've been saying this for months. Dish, they got their backs up against the wall. They're starting from the bottom. And T-Mobile's kicking them before they can even stand up.
Yep. They're already kicking them. Yep.
Anybody who tells you otherwise is they got magenta color shades on.
This was a situation that they should have held on to. They needed to keep this because if Verizon gets a hold of that track phone, which we know it's most likely going to be for sure, that's 11 million customers they're going to lose on the MNO side, on top of what they lost with Dish.
I'll ask the two of you gentlemen. Did the way things played out between Dish and T-Mobile happen this way if John Legere is CEO?
Hell no.
Nope.
He would have fought for the deal.
Do you guys put blame, if you had to assign blame, so 100% of the blame, right? Give me a breakdown. Charlie Ergen, Mike Sievert. Carlos, you go.
Bro, it's all on Mike Sievert, bro.
100%.
He doesn't want to budge. He doesn't want to budge at all because he looks at Dish as a rival, and he wants to squash them. Come on, bro. They're sending text out. They're doing this. Even before the deal was officially signed, they were stealing the customers already. Come on, man. That tells you right there they didn't give two damns about them. All they wanted was to push them aside, and that's it, bro. And Charlie got fed up, and you can't blame him.
Yeah, I think the blame has to be put on Mike Sievert. Even if the negotiations went along to where Charlie said, "Hey, I need the CDMA network until the end of 2023," I think Sievert should have budged and said, "Yeah, we'll give it to you till the end of 2023, and that'll give you time to migrate your base." But Sievert was probably like, "No, per the agreement with the FCC, you got 6 months. We're gonna shut our CDMA network down January 2022." And
I spoke to T-Mobile engineering. The amount of CDMA bandwidth is 4.25 megahertz of spectrum.
Yeah.
They're not in a rush to shut down the network because they need spectrum. They're in a rush to shut down the network to stymie Dish and Boost. They would love nothing more than for Boost Mobile to struggle, force them to have to give handsets to their customers, whatever, and then, or maybe get those customers churning, and then they can come in with Metro or T-Mobile and be like, "Yo, we'll get you on a subsidized promo on this deal on this phone. Come on over to our side." Seriously, that's another way that this could play out.
Hey, Sneak. So earlier, Sebby and I were talking. All right, and I brought this up, and this actually would have been a good idea. T-Mobile could have gave those Rebel phones that cost only $129 that they were selling for MSRP. They could have gave it to them at $20 a pop and said, "Here you go, Dish. We'll give you these phones at $20 a pop so you can get these people migrated off of it." They could have made some sort of deal. I don't know who was in blame on that deal for handset devices, whatever, but we already know AT&T. They're giving it to their legacy customers right now. They're giving them free iPhone or a free Android. What makes you think they're not going to do the same for Dish?
Moose, what is going on, my friend?
What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Hey, I want to get this on the record, Moose. Didn't I ask you last week? I called you. I was like, "Hey, bro, why is Dish relocating all their tower sites on AT&T tower sites?"
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. First, let me say, Cha-Cha, thank you for joining. The Sneed Man, the Corridor, thank you for joining. Tech Live, Tyrone, we did it, baby! The Dish is back up! Woo! Baby! Woo! I told you this was gonna happen. I told you. T-Mobile, I don't know what the hell people are trying to apologize for T-Mobile's ridiculousness. This was in the works since March of 2020. We went on record. We knew that this was going to happen.
Moose is fired up.
I'm telling you, I came in hot. I'm ready, dog. I came in very hot because, remember, let me rewind the clock. Back in 2020, March, April, and May of 2020, I consider that the peak pandemic, right? I've said this many times. Peak pandemic. Dish allowed 20 megahertz of AWS-4 to be given to both Verizon and AT&T. And I knew from conversations from my buddies that spectrum was unbelievable. Okay? Minimum 35 to 50 Mbps download increase in most sites in most areas, specifically New York City.
That was just AWS-4.
That was just AWS. Now we're talking about AWS-3 and aggregating that with the existing holdings and 40 megahertz of clean AWS-4 to AT&T towers. Dude, this is incredible, man, for AT&T customers, but particularly for the Dish customers. The Dish customers are going to benefit dramatically from this, man.
I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Carter Manny. This is Adam. Adam, I appreciate that really generous donation. Thank you, man. Glad to have you back. We haven't seen you around much, but it is good to see you. He says, T-Mobile is whack, bro. Y'all know this. Woo! Feels great to be back.
Oh, damn. So he's back from his nationwide tour.
Oh, he's been touring.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Sebby's chiming in here. He said, AT&T postpaid is giving a $50 phone, and AT&T prepaid is either the $50 phone or a random one that includes the Moto Ace 5G.
I'm telling you, this is a big deal.
Appreciate you, Adam. Thank you.
You guys are going to talk about it more, but I just wanted to get on, hype it up, man, because this is probably the biggest news, the biggest finger to T-Mobile, man, the biggest FU.
This is the biggest news since the merger. T-Mobile.
This is bigger than the merger, in my opinion.
Oh, come on.
It is, and I'll tell you why. Because we already see N41 is congested, right? We've already seen Carlos has documented it multiple times. So guess what? Is T-Mobile, they're not going to resent the fact that now their biggest competitor, arguably their biggest competitor, is now going to have a significant amount more spectrum to utilize for the next 10 years? Come on, dude.
Oh, hold on, Moose. Let's do it, bro. Let's do it.
Yeah, we did it, man. Alrighty, I'll be back. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
All right, man. All right. So yeah, Running Flame chimes in. This is exactly what the Spectrum holdings are going to be. It's 60 megahertz of AWS. All that is N66. It gets broken down. It's I think it's 20 by 20.
Yeah.
Paired AWS 3, and then it's a dedicated AWS 4. Is it just downlink or uplink? I don't know. It's been a while since I looked at it, but it's something like that. It's like 20 by 20 on the one, and then it's 20 of the other or something.
Yep.
No, it's 40 of the other. I forget. Anyways, it's great spectrum. It's going to bring a lot of capacity. From what I understand, the gear that is required to transmit and broadcast AWS 3 and 4 are pre-existing on some AT&T sites, which probably means for the rest of the near future, anytime AT&T is going to be upgrading a site, it'll be getting that new hardware, plus the Band 14 stuff, plus the Band 30, the Band 29, right? Because that's 700 megahertz, right?
Well, you got to.
That's going to be N70, right?
Yeah, you got to remember too. They do have Band 29, Dish 2.
That's what I'm saying. N29, right? Yeah. But that's regional.
Yeah.
That's not something they have national. The national stuff is the 600 megahertz and the AWS.
And the
CBRS.
The 800 too from
800. They got the 5 megahertz national.
Yeah, the chump change.
Which turns into like 2 or 3 megahertz sometimes, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah, I see some comments going on here. Okay, so Tyrone, you're still here, right?
Yeah,
Still got you. All right. Tyrone, we already kind of spoke about this a little bit. I don't want to spoil the fun. I'm going to give you the floor first. How does Mike Sievert look in this? Because Dish made out like a bandit. Dish looks brilliant. Charlie Ergen looks like a genius. He looks like the shrewd operator he is. AT&T looks like they're going to be benefiting here. How does Mike Sievert look?
he looks very bad. I could just see him in the sweater vest with his armpits just. I mean, it's terrible. It's a very bad deal. Now,
Little gray
again,
sweater.
Dish benefits in so many ways. I mean, retail distribution, they can now get it closer to their satellite customers because AT&T has a bigger network. So now they can bundle those customers. Hey, you got my satellite TV. Well, here's wireless. They can now achieve this as well. And then we all know what Charlie's after. He wants to merge DirecTV with Dish Network.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do a little bit of, butt kissing on the way. But, essentially that's what he's after.
I got a couple of super chats to address here. Let's get to Lawrence first. Thank you, Lawrence. Appreciate the super chat. Does this mean T-Mobile Dish MVNO deal is completely null and void, or is this new deal with AT&T just for boost subs? This deal essentially replaces the T-Mobile deal. They don't need T-Mobile anymore.
No.
Why would they be paying T-Mobile for access when AT&T's network is larger? It's more uniformly available on a national scale, and it's more reliable based on metrics and data and testing and user experience. It's just bigger and more reliable. So, like, what I would say is, why would you need the other one, right?
Yep. In the press release, it says AT&T will become the primary. So, Dish is not going to pay for two networks or to be hosted by two networks. That just makes no sense.
No. Hopefully that answers your question, Lawrence.
There'll be a Now, don't get me wrong, there'll be a period where the migration happens, where the T-Mobile network will still be accessed. But as they move customers out of those SIM cards into AT&T SIMs, then, that'll also shift from Dish needing T-Mobile.
N26 is national. N29 is almost national. See, we got to look back at those maps. Let's remember that day we were breaking it down.
Yeah,
we got to look back because Dish is looking good, man. They're on the positive side. Darian, appreciate the super chat, my friend. This extra spectrum plus the fact that AT&T will outspend T-Mobile in the years to come. What's the timeline for AT&T to surpass T-Mobile on 5G? Surpass? I mean, what are we talking, like? You mean like what is it, Pops? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I don't know if they ever do, because T-Mobile already says they're looking to be at 200 million ultra capacity pops by the end of the year, and they say they're at what, 250 right now in extended range 5G. So I don't know if they'll ever pass them, because apparently T-Mobile's already national with everything. So
we got this, bro, right here. Seabird, you're fired.
Appreciate you, Darian. I will say that I think the 5G parity, meaning when they're very similar in 5G availability and stuff like that, I think that happens by 2023. Once they get by like the end of the year, once they get the national C-band, then it's pretty much a wrap. But this changes everything.
Yeah.
We're talking about tons of spectrum all of a sudden being available to the AT&T network.
I just got to address Keon real quick, because he's saying that this deal is bad for Dish and they will die off because of it. I don't understand that. AT&T is just hosting them. Dish is paying for the access to the network. How is Dish going to die off? That just makes no sense.
I don't see how this is bad for Dish. If anything, this enhanced their network operations.
Yes.
They got 3 extra years. So with T-Mobile, it was 7. With AT&T, it's 10. And they're getting access to a larger, more reliable network. Let's be honest. AT&T nationally is a better network than T-Mobile.
Yep. It's true. It's 100%
I mean,
true.
if you're going to sit here and tell me that it's better in your neighborhood, or it's better on your street, or T-Mobile's better in your city, you can make an argument it's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying nationally, AT&T is larger and more reliable as a network than T-Mobile.
Yeah, and AT&T needs these deals. AT&T created a separate vice president position specifically for MVNO deals. This is a big deal for AT&T to gain these types of partnerships. They're not going to want to let go of Dish.
So, question I'm getting is, will the expanded SIM need to be replaced for phones to work with the changes? I'm assuming it's going to require a new SIM card. The reason I think that makes more sense is because I don't know how it's going to work on the tower side. You know, like with the new AWS situation and all that. I'm assuming people are going to need new SIMs.
Yeah.
You know, they could send SIMs in the mail. They could do eSIMs if people have iPhones. That's probably going to be the easiest way, right, Los?
Yeah, AT&T's on MNOs. They like giving them easy access to eSIM on an iPhone. That's for sure.
So that'll be a good way. I think people are going to have to go in the store if they've got, you know, a 2017 Galaxy, a 2018, 2019 Google phone or whatever, you know. Question from Dan, is Dish going to deploy 600 megahertz and buy some in auction 108 with AT&T? They're auctioning 600 megahertz in upcoming auction?
No, he's saying that they're going to deploy 600 and buy some.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, so two separate things. Okay. All right, the 600 megahertz, they're building out.
Yeah.
Auction 108, I'm assuming that's 2.5 gigahertz. I hope nobody gets any of that. I hope it all goes to T-Mobile because I hate non-contiguous spectrum. You know, like the way that it's all fragmented is just, it's awful. I hate it. It's bad. Yeah. So, Michael, hope we answered your question about the SIMs. I think new SIMs will be needed.
Yeah.
Isaiah, I think this is a legitimate, and big shout out to Zeke. He's been hanging around the channel now for a while and commenting in the videos. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for your support. I think Mike Sievert looks bad in this. You know, if I could kind of chime in on it. I know you guys kind of gave your 2 cents. You had one job in this. Facilitate the fourth carrier. Couldn't do it. Could not effectively do it. I think he tried to bully Charlie back. You know, Charlie kind of strong-armed him a little bit, right? He knows that the FCC's behind him. He knows that the DOJ's on his good side.
Yeah.
So he was always pushing to get more, and then I think Mike Sievert is very unyielding. I don't think he's, you know, he wasn't built for this type of situation. He might be a very good corporate guy. He might be a very good numbers guy. All that could be true, but it's going to take a special person to deal with Charlie Ergen and massage the situation, and he was unable to do it. He was not the guy for that part. He might be the guy for all the other stuff. He needed a liaison to deal with Charlie Ergen because he didn't know how to do it, man.
You need a priest for Charlie Ergen.
Sievert smiles like he's in a hostage situation. The guy is either miserable or a sociopath.
Yeah. But this really screws them, bro, because now the track phone, that's coming up shortly. How's this going to look, bro, when they give them a kick to the curb? It's going to be another 11 million customers.
Josh is joking, saying Keon is actually Mike Sievert's alt account.
Oh.
That's right, AZ Tech. There are 2 SIMs out for Boost. You got the TNX SIM, and then there was something else, wasn't there?
Like the Legacy Sprint.
The Legacy one, yeah. Shay chimes in, do you think AT&T network will slow down because of the Boost? No. It's going to get faster. They're going to get access to AWS.
AWS 4.
All right, Sebby's got a question for you, Tyrone. Why MVNOs on AT&T are capped, all of them, if there is a person that is in charge?
Well, this just happened recently that they assigned somebody for that. AT&T really didn't go big on the MVNO space, and they haven't really. They got very little traction on that side. I think speeds are capped at 75 megabits. I think is what I saw.
Apparently, that was false information. People are getting faster speeds.
Bro, I got a Cricket line, and I get full speed.
That's what I'm saying. I know Cricket back then was capped at 8 megabits, but that was like years ago.
8 limited plan. Yeah. They had a 3, a 5, and 8.
Yeah. So of course there's going to be less priority. That's just the MVNO space. That's how that operates. They're not going to get the postpaid priority. So regardless of what happens, you're going to probably experience a slower network, so to speak. But again, with the C-band coming on air, all this additional spectrum, I mean, you're not going to really see a difference anymore. I don't think QCIs will play a big factor in the future.
Lawrence wants to know, will Dish unlock current Boost Mobile customer phones? I'd assume so.
Yeah.
How else are you going to access the network, right?
Yeah.
You're going to need a firmware update, that's for sure. You might not have to unlock anything. Just send a firmware update. Philip, good to see you, my friend. Glad you could stop by for the live show. Boost Mobile sucks. Maybe not for long, man.
Yep. This could unlock this. By the way, this could unlock Boost getting new plans.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
no
who
more
knows?
apps.
Who knows what's in store, man?
Knows.
So I guess when it happens, I'll be covering Boost again. Very exciting times. Looking forward to it, Tito. Thanks for chiming in.
Hell yeah, man.
Dish and AT&T can't partner that way. I don't think. I still think Dish goes big on the 3.4 gigahertz auction. Well, they got 10 to 20 megahertz national. So you think they go for another 10 to 20, Los, in this next CBRS auction?
Yeah.
What do you think, Tyrone?
Yeah, I think they have to, because we don't know what the spectrum market looks like 3, 4, 5 years from now. We don't know if there's going to be, the auctions like we have them now. We just had C-band 108, then we got 110 coming up. We don't know what that looks like in the future. We could have another drought like we did during LTE.
Oh, man, it was bad. We had, the AWS auction, and that was it.
That was it.
The 600.
600. So Dish has to play their cards right, man.
But
It's a big run.
Think about this one, the 12. The 12 gigahertz is going to be really big for Dish.
S-band.
That's gonna be confusing,
S-band.
man.
S-band too.
But but they own those assets.
Yeah, but S-band is going to be the key. That one is going to be the key, because that's worldwide coverage. That's the key. And I think they're not just going to stop here in the U.S. They're going to try to put their foot wherever they can.
Landon, you bring that up. You say that they may have lost 600 megahertz leasing, but they just gained AWS leasing. And AWS is worth more than 600 megahertz.
No, he said the only thing T-Mobile might have lost is potential 600 megahertz leasing from Dish.
They could have leased AWS.
Yeah.
What? They have AWS 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Imagine if T-Mobile would have leased it. That would have helped so much. That could have got their N66 from 5 megahertz maybe to 20.
Everybody talks about how great T-Mobile's tower grid is. If their tower grid is so great, why didn't they lease AWS? Why'd they lease the low band?
No.
See? You ask people these questions and they're just like, I'm telling you, watch what carriers do. Don't worry about what they're saying. Watch what they do. Big John's in the house. What up, John? Yeah. Boost Mobile is capped. In its current iteration, it is capped. Who knows with the new deal? You never know.
Then they're throttled after 3 games.
Boost versus Cricket, more like tag team now. It just got really interesting. All right, so... Oh, man, I'm way behind. Okay, elements of this deal that I wanted to cover. Kind of the T-Mobile side. I'll just kind of cap it off by saying it's disappointing. I do think the best case scenario was a revenue stream for T-Mobile and then Dish getting network access. I thought that was the best case scenario. It looks like now that's not going to be the case. I blame a lot of this on Mike Sievert and T-Mobile. They just couldn't make it happen. Say what you want about Charlie Ergen. He's shrewd. He's difficult. He's a tough negotiator. Whatever. He had to pivot because I guess it wasn't good enough. What does this do for AT&T, guys?
Opens a bunch of avenues. Bunch of avenues.
What do you think, Tyrone? What does it do for Dish, man? AT&T.
Well, it brings in revenue on a yearly basis now. 500 million seems to be the number that I'm hearing. It could be more, could be less, depending.
Annual.
That'll unlock more investing in the network, and the spectrum is going to play a huge factor in this case. I remember when they launched AWS4 here during the pandemic, tower sites went from doing 90 megabits to 300 overnight, just by adding that extra 20 megahertz.
That's just 20. There's more.
There's more. Mm-hmm. And then we got maybe some reciprocal CBRS roaming on Dish sites with AT&T. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Who knows? I mean, the possibilities are endless. Opening the floodgates here. I mean, even Verizon may have to take a closer look at this deal, because AT&T can now carry more customers and grow even more before C-band goes on air.
Do you guys feel like AT&T is very different today than it was 2 years ago?
Oh, definitely.
I mean, they're making moves with Dish. They're making agreements. They've got deals. They're competitive, pricing and value and features. They're focused. They're not absorbed by media anymore. Like, there's a feeling of competitive edge there.
Yeah.
They created the Elite plan, and they didn't change pricing.
They did.
The new Elite plan had no price change to it. They just gave people more tethering, 4K video resolution playback, no deprio. They cut, I think, 40% or 50% off of their international rate plan for travelers. And they didn't touch pricing. And then they threw in HBO Max, and they're giving people free iPhones, trade in your old one. Like, they're rather uncarrier in a lot of ways.
AT&T's new international roaming package, the new one that just came out with the updated Elite plan, is the best international plan we have, for the reason
for unlimited data
is if you go for 60 days overseas, you only pay $100 total, because the first 10 days at $10 a day for the first line gets billed. Then after that, it stays on for the remainder of the time you're away. So if you're gone for 60 days, all you paid was $100 for full throttle.
Mm-hmm. Man, I see AT&T coming out pretty big in this. I see Dish coming out pretty big in this. I think Verizon's kind of the party that's out, and I think T-Mobile gets impacted negatively in a big way. That's from the surface. That's how it looks. FirstNet. I think FirstNet plays a role in this. They need to finish FirstNet, right? They've got a X amount of miles they got to cover and pops and all this other stuff. This helps with that, right? It's a revenue stream, gets money coming in. This is a deal they didn't have before. And I think that says also to Charlie Ergen, this is the largest network. All your customers are covered now. They're like, if this was a deal with Verizon, I'd say it's just as good a deal, in terms of coverage and network availability. I think they did pretty good, man. I really do. And we got to talk about this, Tyrone, too, because you kind of already alluded to it. And Carlos, you're going to get a kick out of this. Carlos, I'm going to start with you, man. The original Q2 earnings for T-Mobile was scheduled for August 5th.
Okay.
It has been moved up to July 29th. Why?
Really?
Why do you think they did that, Los?
Clean up.
They're going to try to save some face. Yeah, they're going to do a little damage control. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'll frame it to you like this, Los.
Oh, yeah.
What do you expect Mike Seaver to say when they ask him about this?
They're going to blame it on Dish. Everything's going to be like, oh, Dish we couldn't come in coordinations. They were being hard on us. Da-da-da-da-da. You already know. But how long will he last as a CEO? Shareholders got to be pissed right now.
Did you see what happened to the stock? It tumbled today.
$5.97 at the open.
Oh, it went down $6?
I was looking through the map. It was, but I mean, it gained back, but some.
Okay, so it definitely lost $5, right?
Right now it's at 145. It closed at 145.
I think $4 or $5. Okay, so stock, the stock price is down. The market's been down, but T-Mobile hasn't been down. Right? So while the market's trending down, T-Mobile stayed up. They were always ascending. The value was high. It's going to be damage control. He's going to have to spin it somehow, some way to make it look like this is good for T-Mobile. I don't know how he's going to do it. Big shout out to Hector with the super chat. What do you think of Dish's CEO? How sweaty are his armpits? Good question. Their CEO, I don't know. Unless it's the, is it Dave Kirby? The old executive from T-Mobile. Is he the CEO? Because Charlie Ergen's the president of Dish.
Yeah.
He's
not the CEO. He's not the operations guy.
No. I forgot who it is. Let me see.
I think it's Dave Mayo. Might be Dave Mayo. He's a former T-Mobile executive. He was a John Ledger era guy, I think. Anyways, how sweaty are his armpits? I don't know. I don't know anything about him.
It's Eric Carlson.
Carlson. Okay.
I don't think they're sweaty, bro. I think they're they just beefed up, bro. They beefed up on the Old Spice.
Okay. Right guard, left guard, all Old Spice. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. We'll have Hector. I'll be sure to check out his armpits the next time they do an earnings report. Oh my God, unlimited supply of deodorant. These guys are hilarious, man. You guys are great. Thank you for the super chat.
Dave Mayo is the executive vice president of network development.
Okay, so he's more like Neville than anything.
Yep.
Okay.
See, bro, 6:30 a.m., bro. That's when I'll have the Dish shares. Maybe have to buy some Dish shares, bro.
Hey, this is an interesting angle here. Verizon is shaking and getting sweaty armpits. What do you think?
Maybe they are.
Hey.
The Old Spice ain't working no more.
Man. Tyrone, what's Charlie Ergen gonna say, man? Or excuse me, what is Eugene gonna say July 29th?
Oh man, that's gonna be, first of all, they may not allow anybody on there that wants to ask that question. You know how they monitor the who gets to ask what questions?
First of all, don't ask us about Dish, all right? Let's
Yeah.
True.
But no, I think for the sake of the shareholders, I think T-Mobile themselves have to give some public statement to the shareholders to kind of calm them down. I mean,
the share, Tyrone, the share literally has been ascending nonstop since the merger.
Yep.
It's gone from like 117. It is now at 149. I think 149 something yesterday, and then today, boom, fell out.
Yeah, it's been I think Bloomberg reported this was the biggest drop in the stock since 5 months ago. Just off of this negative deal. And tomorrow, we don't know what that looks like.
Thoughts on AT&T getting to deploy Dish's spectrum in addition to their C-band, faster than Verizon nationwide for many years? Okay, so I expect the AWS upgrades to make the network faster by 30 to 40%. C-band is another layer entirely that's going to be operational on 5G. So overall, I mean, yeah, I could see it even being faster than Verizon's for the first couple of years until Verizon gets the rest of it in 2023. I mean, Los, if I'm doing the math right, they're going to have double the AWS that Verizon does.
But this is the key, though. 40 megahertz right now that they're using AT&T. The first 40 megahertz belongs to Verizon. On that,
yeah, I understand. But what I'm saying is, if I'm just looking between now and 2023, until Verizon gets the other 120 megahertz of C-band, okay, so Verizon's going to have 60. AT&T's going to have 40. But AT&T's about to get an infusion of AWS that is going to be available immediately.
Yeah.
Some of these sites don't even need upgrades. They're going to start broadcasting this with the frequency. So I got AT&T being faster than Verizon now once that happens.
Yeah, they'll be able to have more capacity.
Till about 2023, and then things change because those channels get really wide for Verizon. You know, and the millimeter wave is a thing too. I mean, what's the millimeter wave going to look like in 3 years, Los?
Well, this is the next thing. When do they get their 40 megahertz back from AT&T? I think it's once the B block becomes available, right?
In 2023. Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nice access. T-Mobile's gonna have wide channels. Verizon's gonna have wide channels, and frickin' crazy, man. AT&T's gonna have wide channels too, dedicated 5G and LTE.
Yeah.
That's how I think it's gonna kind of play out, Josh. If that answers your question. Is Mike
totally
Sievert's middle name Eugene? I don't know.
We'd have to look that out. We'd have to look that up. Hold up.
Big shout out to Andre. Thank you for the super chat. Does the Elite plan, then this Dish deal, put pressure on Verizon to respond quicker than they would like? I don't know if this implicates Verizon responding to the Elite plan or the Magenta Max plan. I'm not sure if this affects that in any way. I do think that Verizon does have to respond. I don't know what that does to their network because in certain cities, they are spectrum starved. They have high market share, and it's hard. You know, they are managing the network very intelligently and aggressively. They have the least amount of headroom compared to these other carriers. For example, AT&T has all these incredible, carrier aggregation setups and configurations, and, T-Mobile's got tons of spectrum. Verizon doesn't have those abilities, right? So their network in certain markets, they're going through it, man. They're deploying CBRS, they're doing millimeter wave, they're densifying. They're doing a lot, but they simply just need spectrum. So they're probably they probably need C-band to respond to those plans, and I would assume that pretty much immediately. Like if C-band goes live in October, Los, I expect a high premium plan coming. You think that sounds about right?
Sounds about right.
Do you think they're going to charge more, or do you think it's just going to be the get more, do more?
I think the get more will get revamped.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll change the terms on the play more and, do more and all that crap.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, Andre, I don't think this deal forces that issue any more than it already was. AT&T, the carrier to have for 2 more years, it may always be the carrier to have for some. Seriously. First net will be Feye. Big shout out to the fireman, Carter. TDN Solutions. Sneed, will AT&T get Dish S-band worldwide? I don't think so. I don't know how that's going to play out. That satellite spectrum stuff is crazy. I have no idea.
I don't think they'll let it, because that's going to be the number one playing field for Dish. I doubt that they'll let
that. That's crazy, man. When I think about the possibilities with satellite operations, nuts, man.
Well, you know that now there's satellite phones coming out more. There's satellite / SIM card, so extraterrestrial and terrestrial based phones that are coming out now. So makes me think, like maybe Dish might offer that in the future.
Maybe
if they do this S-band.
Andre says, I see Verizon losing a lot of high-value customers if they don't respond quickly. It's very possible. We'll see the next quarter. So hopefully we answered your questions, TDN Solutions. I don't know about that spectrum situation. There's a bunch of governing rules that have to be addressed when it comes to whatever's being used for satellite versus terrestrial. I don't know, man. Those things have to be ironed out. I would be more. Man, how do you think it's going to play out, Los? The S-band, the 2.0 gigahertz. How do you think? I mean, if you had to predict, because that's the thing, you have to predict it. Nobody knows for sure.
This
The FCC is going to be riding that out.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. I'm not for sure. This is just speculations, basically.
Mhm.
So what I think is going to happen is Dish wants to compete in a different way than a traditional carrier.
Right.
So they're going to, once this S-band becomes fully cleared, or I think it's cleared already, right? Or not
It's
yet.
just what it's being used for. It's
Yeah.
currently,
It's little shit, but it'll
Mhm.
eventually get cleared up. So what I think they're going to do with this S-band is they're going to be like, you know what, let's build an extraterrestrial network too. So we can have best of both worlds. We can have worldwide coverage. We won't just be in the United States. We can be in other countries making money. And then afterwards, bro, then maybe they'll be the ones selling that to AT&T, to Verizon, if they want to offer stuff like that. Maybe they'll be the ones. We don't know. I mean, that's just, speculation, but what do you think, Tyrone?
Well, I tell you what, man. This is what I say. Charlie is playing 3-dimensional chess while the others are playing checkers. So that guy
he's
is a
pinning
loose
them.
cannon.
He's pinning them up against each other, Tyrone.
He is. He really is. And this is a guy that doesn't own his own network yet, and he's causing all these soap opera effects across the industry. I mean, these guys are bickering back and forth.
Oh,
So
my God.
Carlos is spot on. He says Dish wants to operate differently.
Yeah.
I think they're perfectly right. What's going to happen if all the top 3 have wideband channels? The networks are going to be technically even in the future.
Very fast, very capacitive.
Very fast. Then you have to innovate. You have to be different. You have to stand out. The uncarrier's dead. That's done. We're not going to see that anymore. So who's going to be the one to innovate? And I think Charlie might be the one playing 3-dimensional chess, man.
Dish Starlink partnership. I'm gonna go no on that one. I don't think that's happening. Pete sent you the link. Hopefully, we'll see you in here. Will, in terms of Boost Mobile is going to start operating over the AT&T network. You're going to see handsets getting sent out to people that have old 3G legacy tech that are CDMA connected. New SIM cards for customers. People with newer phones like iPhones shouldn't have any issues. You can use eSIM. Otherwise, I think a lot of people are going to have to go to stores and get new SIMs. All the new activations will have different SIMs. So those are some of the things I think will happen. But the network access is probably going to be better, and it's 2 reasons. Number one, AT&T has a more uniform national network, largely available network than T-Mobile. That's number one. Number two, AT&T is getting an infusion of Dish spectrum to use. It's about to get more capacitive and faster. So should be good. I'd like to see some new Boost plans. I think they got to change it. Their plans literally are not competitive in their space, and this is their opportunity to rebrand it. Hey, we got new network access. We got new plans. Look at us. We're Boost Mobile.
Do you think we're going to hear when you call 611 through Boost is going to go doom, 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 doom?
We shall see. The bearded dragon is here. What up, Pete?
What up, bro?
Well, not much. Just listen to you guys talk about wideband stuff, which actually, if 3 carriers have access to wideband channels, it's good for the industry.
Big shout out to MS. Thanks for that super chat, man. Email me. We'll see if we can figure out the Patreon situation.
What type of Patreon situation? Him not being able to sign up, or me not giving him a link?
I think him not being able to sign up. So he's having trouble with Patreon.
You know what country he's in?
U.S., I believe.
Certain countries that won't let you sign up.
See, Sebby, this is where I think things get interesting. I think eSIM can be supported with AT&T access on Boost Mobile. Los, what do you think?
Yeah, because AT&T on all their MNOs, they give them access to Opus. I have access to Opus. Come on, bro. Opus.
Yeah.
Does Los Mobile have access to Wi-Fi calling?
Yes, sir.
Which vice president did you have to pay off for that one?
Called the plug, bro. The plug.
The plug, Pete. The plug, man.
No, he got leverage on someone. That's all I'm saying.
He got somebody backed into a corner. Didn't let him move.
Yep.
At the plug.
But
Go ahead, Pete. Chime in on anything. Were you listening to the show much?
no, I just finished dinner.
Okay.
I noticed you were still on.
So, Pete, man, T-Mobile basically loses out on this Dish deal. Now it goes to AT&T. It's a service agreement. It's an NSA.
The service agreement. How much was T-Mobile paying for court fees for Dish to tell them, no, you're not allowed to shut down CDMA despite the fact you're giving us more than a year warning? There is a chance that the cost they would have had and the amount of time they would not have been able to. Thank you for the super chat, John.
Oh shit, nice.
No message,
so.
but thank you. But
Thanks,
there's a chance that the amount of time and the amount of useless CDMA spectrum that could be converted.
Pete,
They
it's
might be.
It's 4.25 gigahertz.
Or megahertz.
Megahertz, excuse me.
4.25 megahertz.
It's PCS and it's PCS and 800.
What is PCS again?
It's 2
1900.
PC 1.9. Yeah, 1.9.
So more
And
band 2.
It's exactly. So basically, the band 2 would widen by 4 megahertz.
No,
by
3.
3 megahertz.
Hey, that's enough to keep your
Pete,
Canadians from getting in.
I understand, bro, but honestly, this is legit. They were trying to stymie Boost Mobile. They literally wanted them to churn, so they have a chance to get them on Metro or T-Mobile.
I do have a question, though. What is Amazon's future cell company gaining from this? Because AT&T has 0 CDMA holdings.
Oh shit.
So I think in this deal, there is some construct for AT&T to help with phones. I think AT&T is going to bite the bullet, and they're going to pay part or subsidize or get involved in getting handsets to people that still have CDMA phones.
Lois, all I can say about that type of deal is you better watch it, see if they might add phone addition fees to your prepaid service.
Oh shit.
Hey, Nicholas, this is live as of right now. The AT&T agreement is...
Yep. So I wouldn't be surprised if AT&T found a way, like going off the manufacturer, the wholesale price for the free 5G phone T-Mobile's giving out, which is, I'm going to say, about less than $50. So I wouldn't be surprised if over a year AT&T increases an administrative fee slightly to some of their customers to offset the cost of giving out free phones.
Hey Pete, but you gotta admit though, AT&T's ruthless. Remember when I sent you the screenshot where it said property tax?
Yep.
They straight up put property tax.
A lot of people didn't believe us, and then Lowe's saw it on the bill.
So they're gonna say phone access fee or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm already. If I lost my taxes and fees included, I'd be getting a universal connect fee going up this year.
Is that something new to your county or state or something?
The state upped the universal connection fee from 26 cents to $1.05.
Dang.
This is because the state, due to lack of help with from the federal government, needs to find ways to bring broadband to rural communities. So they have a per phone usage fee called the Universal Connect fee to get like 20 meg internet out to people who only have access to dial-up.
Yeah, I don't think that's not going to make or break anybody's bill.
No, that's not going to make or break a bill. And personally, if they upped my bill per line for that, I'd be like, fine.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't.
It's I have a little bit of extra cash. It's not going to hurt me bad, but it will improve some lives. So
Exactly.
They
don't got to be on AOL anymore.
But yeah, I could see AT&T for a few months charging every postpaid customer $3 for giving out new boost phones.
That's heavy. $3 is heavy.
Those doctors won't notice.
Yeah, but
so might just be
Dragon
people on the elite. Yeah. Some people won't notice. Some people would be like, "What the hell is this?"
All right, Pete. I have to ask you, man. You've got pretty good perspective on these things. Okay, Dish moves away from T-Mobile and goes with AT&T. All factors considered, I think, personally, Mike Sievert's on the hot seat. This looks really bad. Deutsche Telekom, the board. I believe that. I think they're like, how did you let this happen?
Real talk.
This looks terrible.
Real talk. Sievert probably has less than 6 months.
I knew it, bro. I'm telling you, man. This is a misstep.
I'm looking at the O-level people and the executive vice presidents.
Yeah.
I can't figure. Wow. Thank you. Haim Fried, was that?
Yeah,
who's gonna replace Mike Sievert?
Probably some German guy.
Right.
What could I expect from my AT&T line in the future because of this deal in one short line?
30 to 40% increase in downlink speed, and I would expect similar from the uplink speed. The AWS boost is going to be nice.
It depends on which plan he's on. If he's on the Elite, he probably won't see anything, but if he's on the base plan, he may see a little bit of a degradation in speed.
I'm expecting, if he's getting 200 megabits in his house, I'd expect him to get to 300. Seriously, because the channels are widening. They're doing what, 20 by 20 right now on AWS. That's about the double.
So, one question, Sneed. Then, so that means since at the new house I'm getting about 420 Mbps on AT&T on LTE. So that means what? I'll go to 500, 600.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting about 420, 450, bro.
Holy crap.
Wow. And that Verizon line you sent me can barely hit 60 in my city.
Is it congested?
I don't know. It's like at parity with T-Mobile.
Wait a minute. Why, Zach? Why wouldn't I expect big increase in speed? You're literally going to be adding between 20 and 40 megahertz of AWS. Why?
You get more speed with more AWS. Have you connected to band 66?
It's great. Well, Zach, I will tell you, if they end up upgrading with new equipment, because apparently the AWS 4 needs a totally different set of gear. So that if they end up doing all that stuff, then we're getting all modernizations. That's going to be great. Those sites will have N29.
Wait. Back up the truck, Sneed. Didn't AT&T already do this build out on FirstNet?
Well,
we might be expecting 5 years before they hit this, unless the government pays them to do it again.
They're not going to pay them to do this if they already have band 14 up on a site.
Do you really think the shareholders will be like, "Sweet, go up our speed. You're going to add what, $5 to our dividend and spend $16 billion a year on this"?
That ain't going to fly.
No, you're going to be waiting 5 to 10 years for getting full modernization in every market, unless somebody pays them to do it.
So pre-existing sites that have the hardware, they're going to be kicking. They're going to be getting. They're just all of a sudden going to have more licensed spectrum to broadcast.
But the ones that have the 14 installed but do not have the new hardware will not be seeing anything in the relatively near future.
Well, no, they're gonna get the AWS 3. They're not getting the AWS 4.
Yep.
Right.
So those are towers from 2017 and 2018 that got FirstNet first. Those will be not modernized enough. They'll have to touch those again.
Yep. But I could not see it being as aggressive as when they were doing FirstNet builds because nobody's paying them to put up the towers.
You know, I want to talk about this right here real quick. She better be fighting for Dish because she failed at stopping the merger. She wasted everybody's time and got nothing accomplished. She literally opposed the merger, got spanked in court, and then walked away with her tail between her legs. She didn't even put up a fight. She just pretended like she cared. So she better be doing something to help Dish. What a waste of time that was. Pete, you remember the whole thing, bro.
Dude, I would have had better 5G in Puerto Rico when I went there if they weren't holding that crap up.
AP, when are you gonna be down in Vegas, bro? You gotta stay at the new house, bro. You gotta bring that Verizon line with you though, because we got millimeter wave inside the house.
Ooh.
Pete, what do you say about the S band? The 12 gigahertz, man.
That's the satellite band.
2.0 gigahertz. It sits right between PCS and AWS.
That's a nice spectrum if you can, get it with PCS right there.
The FCC would have to change some rules.
Yeah, but if, you're able to broadcast at like 1900 and go through like 20.1 or 2.01 or whatever, like the 10 megahertz, you can have a continuous band there. It's going to be nice.
It would be nice. And it's a lot of it. It's a lot.
What is that, up to 2.3 gigahertz?
2.3 is WCS. That's the XM radio, AT&T.
Yeah, I'm saying that's like the cutoff. Like you go up to like...
No, it's like It's like 2.05. No, it's like 2.055. Lower block. I don't know, man. I just looked at it like 2 weeks ago with Carlos. We're on the phone.
But anyone who can get it, it would be a nice addition to like T-Mobile's Band 2. Which I must say, driving around in like southeast Utah, Band 2's a beast.
It's everywhere?
For T-Mobile. Yeah.
Fast?
I wouldn't say fast, but, 75 down in the middle of middle nowhere Utah.
But consistent, like everywhere you're going.
Yeah, except for when I'm out in between two mountains, yeah.
Who's going to work in between two mountains? It's Fujitsu, Carter, just so you know.
But, yeah, in that area, Band 2 going around, the only place I lost it was between towns where it was on N71. No complaints.
Verizon's doing something funny over here. I'm seeing 5 megahertz of Band 2. Only.
Nice.
And then the rest of it's all Band 66. It's
neat. They don't want you to get that Canadian frequency on PCS.
Oh my God! Stop messing with me, Pete. I already had to live that Band 26 nightmare with 3 megahertz.
So I found Band 26 at 15 megahertz random locations driving back from Utah.
They have that?
Yes.
Yeah.
By Richfield. What? They have it by Richfield.
Found some in Beaver.
Yup.
Nope. You guys have similar experiences out there. Dude, I know you're in Colorado and Utah, and Carlos is always in Nevada and Utah.
This was actually game changing for the ride, because when I drove out to CES in the beginning of 2020, all these spots that had Sprint service that I connected to said no service on everything but Verizon and AT&T. So, hey, coverage is increasing, and it might not be, earth-shaking, but I can't get lost.
Tyrone, I have to ask. We haven't heard from you in a minute, but I was trying to ask you this before. Do you think AT&T is creating a dedicated MVNO, MNO branch?
Yes, I believe so. They want to get competitive in that space. They hardly have anybody. If this track phone deal goes through, Verizon's going to have a huge presence in that space.
There,
And you know,
off the top of my head, for AT&T, I think of Cricket, AT&T prepaid, and O2 Mobile in the South.
Yeah, but they do have
Yeah.
track phone for 4.5 million customers.
But
be losing that.
regionally,
They'll be losing that to Verizon.
yep.
It's Cricket, really. That's their reach. But they don't report Cricket numbers, so we don't even know how many subs they have.
Oh, we got Walter in the house.
Oh, snap. He chimed in, bro. Yeah. What's up, Walt?
So, Zachary said his T-Mobile home internet is on band 25 right now, and T-Mobile tower is off. Typically, when I've encountered that for 3 days in my area, sometimes I've just connected to a Sprint tower here, and I have solid T-Mobile. Connect back, I'm getting another 20 megs a second down, no problem. Once it stabilizes.
That was the thing that when I had the T-Mobile home internet, they were destroying my home tower. They were just ravaging it. So my experience was bad. You know?
Hey, with everything that comes to cellular phones, there's only one thing that is universally true. Location, location, location. I mean, I'm sure there are some nice spots in my city where you can get a good 100 megs down on AT&T, but there's also certain neighborhoods where you get a dead zone.
Hey, yo, Pete, I need your IMEI. So you need to send that to me. I'm gonna get you hooked up on eSIM.
IMEI for what?
Digital IMEI?
Yeah, I need it so I can get you hooked up with
The Pixel or the Samsung?
I would say because I would have to send you a physical SIM for the Samsung. So let's just say with the
Just send me a SIM so I can do dual standby on the Pixel.
Nice.
Okay.
Walt is going on a comment spree, man.
Yo, Walt, you better chill out, bro. Don't talk about my millimeter wave like that.
Bro,
Cut it out.
bro, well, do I really have to make a video, bro? I got millimeter wave in my bathroom, bro. I literally was.
Dude, I saw a picture of that.
Yeah, bro. I literally was sitting in the toilet, bro, enjoying my time with the millimeter wave.
Adrian chimed in, what's up, Los and Sneed? It's the real me. Well, when was it the fake you?
Well, no, bro. There's been somebody's been stealing pictures, bro, and yeah.
Oh, man, I got no time for that.
Yeah.
We got no time for that. Zach says, my work T-Mobile tower only had one sector upgraded. Sheesh, man, they're cheap. Better upgrade all them sectors, dog.
Wait, you said something about the other two, but they other two
they're
are
getting
getting
N41.
put up with N41. Dude, the locations in Longmont where I have N41, it blows what I get on Verizon out of the water here.
And that's that
Bro,
close the window.
Verizon sounds slow over there.
Actually,
Hey, we're in the mountains. Half their coverage is still 3G.
Bro, what the? They don't even have band 13 out there? Dude, what is that?
Someone said they had phenomenal connection on Verizon here. I offered them Visible with Party Pay versus Verizon prepaid. No service.
No, Visible, bro. No, that's the thing though. With Visible, it doesn't give you the whole coverage map, bro. So like, let's say, like, over there in Longmont, it's like
I got band 13 on it where they lived, but where they went to the chiropractor, the phone is picking up a 3G spectrum only.
That's not going to work on Visible.
No, and that's why they went back to Verizon prepaid, because where they go, they're stuck in 3G pockets.
How are they going to turn off 3G when there's no LTE where the 3G is?
That's a good question. I was actually kind of surprised recently. I found this place, my physical therapist. T-Mobile LTE is like 0.5 megs a second. Go down to the HSPA Plus. I'm at 12 megs a second.
Yeah, nobody's
Run
on
the
it.
Verizon DSS 5G. I'm at 15 megs a second.
Why is it so slow out there?
It's right off the highway, and nobody's pointing tower at the strip mall.
Just weak signal?
Yep.
It's a bad network.
I mean, the T-Mobile N71 at the highway is full service, but I'm getting backdrafts. Like, if it bounces back, I can connect. Bounces off a car, bounces toward the strip mall, I can connect on the 5G. No problem. Rest of the time, no.
I've heard this before. People have told me that there are a lot of areas where Sprint service was tremendous, and then once they started shrinking the bandwidth, now it's starting to get slow. But I think that's the idea. It's to wean people off of the Sprint side and get them onto these T-Mobile channels.
Hey, I was happy last time I was in Omaha on a bus, just being able to get a little bit of band 12 on T-Mobile so I could watch a low-def YouTube video waiting to jump on my next bus.
You watching my videos on 144p, Pete?
Sometimes.
Hey, Pete, I'm going to
Dude,
present this question to everybody.
I don't need video when I'm driving.
I hear you, bro. I wanted to ask this question to everybody here on the panel. Lavendi says he's excited to see who builds out C-band faster, Verizon or AT&T. So, Pete, Block
Verizon.
A, the initial one, is going to be 60-40, Verizon, AT&T. But the question is, who rolls out more of it, right? So it's like, who's going to have the most sites with that C-band? You saying it's Verizon?
Verizon, like I said, if AT&T didn't have the antennas up during the FirstNet build-up, you're going to be waiting.
Yeah, but they did say they wanted to have 100 million pops by, like, May or June of
the way you do that is you throw it up in the top 5 cities.
Oh, to hit pops?
Yeah.
Yeah. You do have major markets.
You hit up, like, the top, 5 to 10 population centers. You get roughly that. And then you only have to throw it up in your backyard, and then you hit your commitment. Your investors are happy. Your stock goes up. But if you're, Tumbleweed, Texas, where there's, 15 AT&T customers, they're not getting C-band.
Who you got, Carlos? AT&T or Verizon? C-band.
Verizon.
Going Verizon.
I've been seeing it coming up.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, Verizon
It's got to be Verizon.
Yeah. The builds they've been doing with CBRS are getting C-band ready. They're preemptively putting up the antennas, and
they're
the incentive
the radios
is,
too, and the routers and everything.
Yeah, and their incentive is we're already as managed and as micromanaged as possible. In some markets, the only to Verizon, the only limit to them getting more customers is congestion. So they have incentive to alleviate congestion. AT&T does not have that same incentive.
Does T-Mobile's growth slow down if that happens, if and when that happens? The C-band between AT&T and Verizon, because as of right now,
their
you can make an argument.
ads will slow down, but their 5G rollout will.
No, their growth as a company, the net ads.
Yeah, their net ads. I'm actually surprised their net ads haven't started slowing down already, but I guess
crazy, Pete?
That's what you get when you have Sprint in one account system and T-Mobile in another after a year.
That's costing them big, Pete.
Not only do they have to maintain 2 personnel systems, but they also have to pay for the electricity in every store for a different terminal for Sprint customers.
What about the data centers?
It might be negligible for data centers, but an extra $5 per store and you have, a couple thousand stores and you're trying to add more, that adds up, eats into your bottom line. Also, you have lost productivity with employee training on 2 different account systems.
Man, Walter asks, Dish pays T-Mobile $2+ billion for network access. What will that number be 3 years from now? What do you guys think happens to that rate?
Goose egg.
Goose egg. No network access?
Dish paying T-Mobile for network access?
I mean, they could technically use T-Mobile as much or as little as possible. I don't think they're going to use them. I don't think they are.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to use them, and
Why
quite
would
frankly, that's an improvement for my network.
AT&T just cut those rates significantly. Why would they use
those
T-Mobile?
terms, man. I would die for those terms. I would love to see the T-Mobile terms, the sweetheart deal that the FCC and the DOJ spoke of.
Neck to neck.
Go ahead, Carlos.
No, but I'm saying it'd be good to see them neck to neck, both deals.
I guarantee you AT&T's deal is better.
Yes,
why
100%.
would they switch? Why else would they switch?
100%.
It's because
bigger network too.
Yeah.
Bigger network, and AT&T said we'll charge our postpaid elite customers the cost for those phones that T-Mobile won't give you.
It? Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely the phone thing, the handset mattered.
So I'm gonna say you postpaid elite people, you're gonna be seeing over a year or so an extra $3 or $4 added to your bill a month.
I'm gonna throw this out there. You guys tell me what you think. When they start offering postpaid service, do they mention we're on AT&T's network?
Of course.
They might say we're on AT&T and T-Mobile's network, but it will be market by market advertising. They will say they're on T-Mobile's network in markets.
They'll pull up the Root Metrics report and be like, Root Metrics says this is the best network here, so we got them.
Yeah, they'll say, so Longmont, Colorado, they'll be advertising we're on T-Mobile. We get that N41. You go to a place where AT&T has millimeter wave and T-Mobile doesn't, like a stadium. They'll say, "Hey, we're on the AT&T network." It will be market by market. As I've said, some markets T-Mobile's better than AT&T. Root Metrics, I believe, has shown that too. So it's going to be market based.
Man, the track phone situation. Go ahead, Tyron.
Once Verizon closes that deal, that revenue is done. T-Mobile loses out on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
We estimated 11 million customers, right?
I got T-Mobile at 3.5 million on track phone, AT&T at 4.5 million on track phone. Verizon, it's about I'd say it's about 11, 12 million. So, they did lose some customers last year. But I guess they had a good quarter this quarter, so I don't know. I'm assuming it's like 20 or 21 million total for track phone. This one's pretty good. I like this question. Well, where will AT&T score on Root with Band 66? Very well. They're going to score really good. Actually, they're going to score really well on the tests for speed.
Yep.
Because that Band 66 is like
immediate. That's all speed.
Yeah, that's speed, bro. And
except in those markets where they didn't put the proper antenna up while they were building out FirstNet.
But there's still going to be some speed, maybe not to the full capacity potential.
Yeah, you're not going to put it up to 11.
All right. So yeah, they should score really good. And
they're already fastest now. It's only going to get better.
Okay, so can we all agree that T-Mobile kind of got double whammied in this?
Yep.
And the MVNO and the wholesale piece and the prepaid piece, but also in the court of public opinion, they look terrible. Why would Dish be looking for a different deal?
Well,
little gray sweater is about to be mad as hell. He's about to get an email from Tim Hodges, bro.
Team Hodges.
Come on,
no. No, Hodges doesn't email.
He calls? It calls? Okay.
Like any good German businessman, if it's serious, you get a fax and then a phone call.
So he's eating a Kinder right now, about to make that call to Mike Sievert.
He's probably eating some streusel, getting like all amped up and.
Just look at this picture, bro. This picture says it all right here. There's Eugene getting the kick, bro.
From Hodges.
Sievert, you're fired.
Hey, when do we see
Sievert, you know that severance package we talked about? Don't expect it. By the way, you're clearing out in 6 months.
Hey, what do you guys think about a time frame when we start to see those channels widen for AWS? I really think it's going to be pretty soon. I mean, can we see it in July? Can we see it in August?
Dish is allowing AT&T to use some of their AWS, yes?
Mm-hmm.
They fought like hell to keep T-Mobile from like even renting out their 71.
Bro, this had to go to the DOJ. You know, okay, so last year in the pandemic, remember the 600 megahertz situation?
Yep.
T-Mobile got it for free. They got to use those licenses for free. Dish said,
and now
fine,
they're
go ahead.
leasing them.
Well, that's what it boiled down to. You know, Charlie said, okay, that's enough. You guys used it for free beyond what I told you guys. He let them go beyond, right? Remember, it was like, it was supposed to be for up to May. It went through July. And he said, okay, I want a deal. I need you to pay for this now. And then T-Mobile responded with a letter saying, we don't want to pay. We want it for free. What is that? Who does that? That's disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean...
If anybody did that you'd kick him out. If somebody did that to you in a meeting and said, we don't want to pay, we want it for free, you would never do business with them ever again.
Well, I'd sit there with my fingers going like this on the table, blink at them, ask the guy next to me to come in, whisper something in his ear, say nothing, and then walk out.
Yeah, man.
Like, say nothing to the guy whispering, just fake it, then walk out. And
that's bad.
And then wait for them to come up to me with their counter offer.
Bro, they don't want to pay. And then...
I mean, at least offer $1 a megahertz.
Like AWS was offered to Verizon and AT&T. Obviously, Verizon doesn't have the gear for it, but AT&T had some of it. So they were in certain markets like New York City. They said speeds went up.
Yeah.
Hey, where the 71 was, speeds went up.
Speeds went up huge.
In the markets, as Pete mentioned, that are more modernized, AT&T has dual band radios. They can get AWS up within 7 days.
Yep. But that's not every market.
Yeah, it's not every market. Yeah.
Tyrone, do you have a follow-up on this? The Boost Chantel, whatever that whole thing was with T-Mobile?
Yeah, apparently they were trying to steal Boost customers in the Chantel territory. There was text messages being sent to Boost customers, which, if the Boost customers not opt in, could be technically illegal. But I guess T-Mobile has their lawyers hard at work, man. So they're always working around the clock, man.
I don't know what happened in post John Leisure T-Mobile, but their legal team, their lawyer fees are crazy.
Yeah.
Ever since the merger, like that whole
yeah,
thing.
They should find a way to stop with the lawyer, like tone down the lawyer stuff a little, and throw up a Samsung antenna randomly.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
I'm a network upgrade kind of guy. I prefer those over legal.
Pay
fees.
less for the lawyer to throw up more Samsungs.
Yeah, there you go. I don't think they have a deal with Samsung.
No. Maybe their lawyers should work on that and then stop doing legal sketch stuff and throw up some Samsungs.
With this, Pete, I got to ask you, because I already asked the guys, does this situation with Dish and T-Mobile, does this happen under John Leisure?
I'm going to say, and then you're going to have to boil down the responses, but I could see under Ledger.
Because if it still happens under Ledger, then that
Charlie
means it's Charlie.
Ergon Like, Don will be trying to, like, walk out a bar with Charlie Ergen. But there's also a really good chance that Ergen's just trying to fuck everything up.
You know what, Walt? I haven't seen many tweets from Neville. I haven't seen many tweets from Eugene. Things have been pretty low-key today.
Hey, Walter, they pushed up the earnings call from August 5th to July 29th.
What do you think
So
of that?
that was their response. So apparently they're going to have a lot to say on the earnings call.
Can we hashtag damage control, Pete?
I don't know yet. I'm going to have to listen to the DT Investors Day first.
That's not for a while. They just had one not too long ago.
Yeah. But
apparently they want to go full fiber in like 6 countries, Pete.
Not surprising.
But that's going to take a lot of dough. Even though it's Europe and the countries are smaller, it's still going to take tens of billions.
Yeah, but here's the thing. In Germany and Austria, just off the top of my head, they do have government connections, like AT&T did with FirstNet. Mm-hmm. So there are countries in the EU that are incentivizing providers to do fiber optic internet rollouts and fiber optic 5G backbone improvements. So they may be utilizing some EU money to build that out. And nope, can't talk about that one.
Adam, I appreciate you coming by and hanging out. If T-Mobile was blindsided by this,
I was blindsided by it.
But why? Pete, I called this like 2 weeks ago. I said this thing is heading south between Dish and T-Mobile.
I didn't know it was this south,
bro.
Well, I think it was this fast. To me it was swift, but I'm not surprised that it happened.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised by the speed. I would have thought, like, when the grace period was fading out.
AT&T is Thursday.
Yep.
When kind of brought it in, Pete,
Verizon's the day after.
Was 23rd. Last week when I saw that they were locating. They're not even broadcasting yet. They're already relocating tower sites from T-Mobile sites to AT&T sites. That was that brought up a lot of,
Oh, that would be a red flag.
Yeah, that's like the icing of the cake.
I just want Walt, if he can get a question in on T-Mobile's earnings call, I just want him to ask about this fragmentation that we have going on. You can get 80 megahertz and go 10 miles down the street and you're at 40.
Yeah. What do you mean? There's people getting 20.
Yeah, there's people getting 20. We need him to ask Neville about the damn fragmentation in that network, man.
Hey, I want, if I could ask Neville one thing and one thing only.
Wait, why do you want to ask Neville, bro? He's chilling. He don't do nothing.
No. This would be a serious engineering question.
Okay.
You have 66, you have 71, you have 41, you have 2. Why the hell do I always fall back on 12 when I'm trying to make a voice over LTE call?
It's true.
Can't you do E911 on any other band like N71?
Pete,
B71.
How wide is that channel on band 12?
They say 5, but I think that's some bullshit.
It's 2, right?
It might, to my knowledge, it's 1. Dude, when I can't get a text email to load on 12, you get problems.
Pete, you remember when I called you up and I said, dude, I can't get 1 megabit on the top floor of my house?
Yeah, that's band 12.
That's band 12, dog.
Dude, I'm like, okay, why can't I load something? Look at the thing. Why the fuck am I on 12? I had 66.
It's true.
You look at my speed test, everything under 1 megasecond, Pete, that's band 12.
You know who I feel bad for? The people that have band 2 only sites and the people that have band 12 and 66 only sites.
No. The people I feel sorry the most for the band 12 T-Mobile only sites. Because T-Mobile says they have coverage in that market, but they only have band 12. They don't have coverage in that market.
I think the lowest, the skinniest channel you could do, I think is 1.25 megahertz on 3G,
Yep.
and I think it's 1.5 megahertz on LTE.
Dude, I've gotten better speed on a 1.25 megahertz channel on 3G than I have on 12.
Yeah, because there's nobody on that channel. You still got people with iPhone 5s rolling with band 12, Pete. It's true.
Now this is another one. Why is
Another
T-Mobile
one.
turning off millimeter wave?
They shouldn't.
They turned off.
They want to
radio
put them on all those N41 sites for all the ones that are getting congested.
Yeah. And that's what they should be doing.
The tower. Go ahead, Pete. Sorry.
If you throw N41, which is what they're calling their capacity band, and there is noticeable congestion, throw up some millimeter wave in the direction or directions there is congestion, but you can't be like, just because it's N41 you need millimeter wave. You need to look into what's happening with your N41. Here in my city, there's we found 3 N41 towers, and the speeds range anywhere from 210 to 480.
That's fine.
There's no congestion there.
Yeah.
But if you're in New York City and you start seeing yourself down around 60 on N41, you need millimeter wave.
Yeah. Millimeter wave for T-Mobile is congested,
And you need millimeter wave to.
Oh my God, Walt!
To take a
Walt is
shower.
ridiculous, bro. He said it started raining, so it wasn't working.
Bro, why
I
do
don't-
you have so much doubt on millimeter
Bro,
wave?
Walt, listen. Walt hates millimeter wave, man. He hates it.
Tripping.
He hates it.
I got to make a video then.
We love it. He hates it. It's as simple as that.
I'm like, it has its applications. I'm still not the guy who says, "Oh yeah, 5G, it's all about the speed." No, that's Verizon's narrative. They got the millimeter wave. They started deploying it. They were there first. They said 5G is all about the speed. No, 5G is about what unique applications you can do by customizing low latency, high range, high capacity, and mixing them about.
Bro, I'm scared to drive around the strip right now. They got those T-Mobile 5G cars running around, bro. I'm scared that shit's gonna lose connection and crash into my whip, bro.
Those autonomous vehicles, Pete, the ones they're testing.
They're gonna take me out, bro.
Should we be concerned, Pete?
On the strip, it's bad, dude. There's people that call me up from the community. Be like, "Hey, yo, do you got a Verizon SIM you could spare?" Or I give them total wireless SIMs, bro.
Mm.
Wait. T-Mobile's doing autonomous vehicle testing on the 5G?
Yeah, here on the strip, bro.
What the hell rock have I been under?
It started last week, I think.
Oh, I've been, I think I know what rock I've been under. I've been explaining to first-year grad students how to write a paper for the past month.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you're definitely going to need single-digit latencies. They got to get low for cars, man.
You also need single-digit latencies for off-site VR rendering.
What do you want to see the autonomous vehicles at for a latency, Pete, for their connections?
It depends if you're doing V2V or V2X.
Okay, V to V.
V2V, you want less than 2. But the FCC took the frequency we were using for that in the 5 megahertz range. I think it was 5.5 gigahertz rather, for V2V communication. That gave us 1 megasecond latency. V2X, you want, greater than 4 but less than 10.
Pete, what do you think about the T-Mobile 5Gen and
Yeah, bro.
and
I've
ginger
not
beer.
been able to find it, but I would like to compare it with the gin I have in my cabinet.
You got
Bro.
Beefeater, bro?
Trash, bro. We've already compared it, bro. It's okay.
So is it better than low end?
Is it mid shelf?
Oof.
Or is it rock gut?
It's
Telling you,
as
dog, it's
good as
Beefeater, bro.
store brand.
I've had worse than store brand.
Carlos, Walt says Eagles Raiders. Dish 5G. Carlos and Walt testing Verizon millimeter wave. You guys got to test, bro. He's going out to that Raiders game. Eagles Raiders.
Hey, Walt, if you do,
Opening week.
I'm gonna text you my number. Give me a holler, and I'll let you come to my house, and you can test out the millimeter wave in my house.
While you're taking a dump.
You can. I'll make sure I'll clean the toilet and everything for you, bro. You get to sit down and with your phone, bro, millimeter waving it.
Dude, I stopped doing my 120 speed tests on the toilet. I just like my on T-Mobile the 1080p 60 frames a second on their 5G while I'm sitting there.
They do have a guard band situation. It's
Yep.
it's 10 megahertz of guard band for N41.
It needs to be 10 megahertz.
So Pete, they'll do a separate guard band for the LTE side too?
Yep.
Wow, so they got 20 megahertz dedicated for guard band.
Well, the problem is someone decided that would be a good idea to throw everything on 2.4 gigahertz. You have
Talking about the Wi-Fi?
You got the Bluetooth, you got the Wi-Fi, you got the garage door opener, you got the microwave, you got the popcorn popper.
Security systems.
You got closed circuit security cameras. You got some medical devices in there.
Yeah.
If I was NTIA and I was doing medical licensing, I would have an isolated band for medical devices with guard band pre-built in, so we don't have to worry about interference. But no, the FCC says it's fine. Throw it at 600, upper 600 in 2.4 gigahertz. Some situations in 5 gigahertz with the Wi-Fi. You got issues with the FCC when they say you can put medical devices in open access.
You know, Pete, I'm having problems at the local hospitals with 5G.
Who's 5G?
T-Mobile's 5G.
Is it the band? Is it 600?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because the FCC cleared out television interference, television stations, so 600 megahertz spectrum to the carriers, T-Mobile and Dish. Bought it, but they also allowed usage of 600 that would not interfere with TV bands to medical devices. And they weren't thinking about that. And this has been a gripe I've been encountering medical devices. They've put them on bands ad hocly. So they broadcast at a certain frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But there are no isolated bands for them.
There's a possible solution in the form of filters, but I don't think T-Mobile wants to pay for all the filters they have to put on the equipment.
The issue is the fact that the FCC has been regulating too much stuff and taking stuff from NTIA.
Okay, is one of the options also to put in indoor DAS?
Yep.
Do you think they're willing to do that?
I do believe the FCC and NTIA should assist with that.
I think you're right too. They're gonna have to do something.
I mean, technically, if you think about it, if the U.S. had nationalized hospitals, the hospital would be part of the Department of Homeland Security.
Then it qualifies under a program to get upgrades.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the T-Mobile and the hospitals should be asking the government for some funding to throw up things to smooth out these issues, because if the hospitals were nationalized, they'd eventually have them thrown up anyway.
So you're not in denial. Some people seem to accuse myself as well as Carlos of picking on T-Mobile.
No, this is Fye's problem.
So you're in agreement. This is an interference
Dude,
issue.
I want to take that person from Kansas and throw his ass in Pakistan, despite the fact he was born in Kansas, for the asinine things he came up with while he was in the FCC.
Hey Pete, remember the mug, bro? Remember the Reese's Cup mug?
So I have people looking for a bigger mug than his for me.
Hey Pete, but this is the thing though. How are they going to sell that Spectrum if they knew that hospital equipment was still using it? Why would they approve the license still? Yeah, too much of the
nose candy.
Too much Snow White.
Yep.
You know what, David? That guy that made that comment, I don't even know what to say. Bro, somebody commented in my hospital video that hospitals use cell jammers.
Nope.
I don't think they understand how interference works.
So hospitals, multi-floor hospitals have a lot of concrete and rebar and fire walls put up. So when you're in the middle of a hospital, you have several feet of concrete. Yo, stop the fucking truck. Back it up.
Carlos, did you really just do this?
Yeah, bro.
Why, man? Why?
What's going on, bro?
Come on, Los. Thanks, bro. You didn't have to do that, bro. It's not necessary.
So you better start digging in that sock drawer. Yes, me. Need that new one.
I don't think a sock drawer has.
You know what? Hey, you know what? The YouTube money clears tomorrow, so I'm gonna take it from the YouTube money, man. Oh my god.
So
thanks, Los. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
Hospitals don't have cell jammers. I've had to explain this to people in houses setting up Wi-Fi, where their Wi-Fi. Whoa! Johnny boy, right here, giving money for
John,
Yasmin.
what are you doing, John?
Damn, you better hope you have enough in that sock drawer.
I might. I don't know, man. Usually the donos at the end of the month, you know, you get a couple of nice ones, they pile up over. It's easy for me to go into the sock drawer and take care of it. This one's gonna hurt.
Ouch.
And you know what's good. Nice about this?
It hurts Pete? So good.
The problem, which this is really the only negative to Super Chats. Thank you to Carlos and big thank you to John as well. You guys
By the way, John, Google thanks you for the $33.
Therein lies the issue. So Google takes a piece, but what I do is I match the dono. So for example, Google's gonna take theirs, no problem. I'm gonna put mine to cover it up and then some. You know.
So David Hole says, "I'm poor. Here's $5."
Thanks, John. Thanks, David. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, man. No, you're the best, bro.
If you're poor, you're not obligated. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, real talk.
He says, "Go to the ATM maybe after the show, a live stream."
Oh damn!
So, real talk here. If you really want to do bomb super chats, PayPal has this feature that says "giving money to a friend." No fee included. Do it that way. No, only Sneed gets his beak wet on that one.
Which one is it?
When you're just giving money to a friend for not a good or service on the PayPal.
Yeah, you just put it as friends or family, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that if you do big donations. Google's getting rich off you guys.
I have a PayPal link, and then I also have a Cash App. I have a
they're down in the description, I believe.
Yeah.
The heck are you using Venmo for? Are you doing it like Matt Gates stuff on there?
Dude, I don't know, man. Everybody's like, "Yo, you got Venmo?" And I'm like, "All right, let me make a Venmo." "Oh, you got Cash App?" "All right, well, let me make a Cash App." I've had PayPal for like 20 years, dog.
So I've had people ask me for Venmo, and Venmo's like, we want your personal information, and I'm like,
Oh,
you're
Venmo,
gonna cut my account, man.
bro, Venmo's legit. Look, this is their major credit card. It gives you a QR code, and then so like, let's say if we're out, and I'll be like, all right, Pete, your part is this much. Oh, can I send you a Venmo? You just scan my QR code right there. Boom. On the major credit.
Hold up, I gotta say one thing. We got a $10 super chat from Ruben.
Oh,
Suns in 7.
Oh, snap, big Rubes.
Need
Here we go.
SMT, great content.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you, big Rubes. I'm rooting for the Suns. I think they can come back,
Yes.
but they're going to have to win a tough Game 6, bro.
So, let me get back to why hospitals don't have cell jammers. Unless people want to stop us with more super chats, no complaints there. So, hospitals don't have cell jam. Up. Keon 81 super chat $5. I still think that this deal is bad but good commentary.
I don't see how it's bad, Keon. I really don't. I mean, it's bad for T-Mobile. I think T-Mobile's losing revenue in this. I know it's not like you're going to say, okay, well, it's only $2 or $3 billion, but why don't they want that? Like, why did it get to this point?
They're losing some revenue. They're losing some revenue. So, hospitals don't have cell jammers. You think about it. Trying to get Wi-Fi, if you set up a Wi-Fi router in the basement, you gotta get a concrete wall to a unfinished area going on, throw up a bit of sheet metal. Your 5 gigahertz may say it connects, but you're getting no speed. Same thing happens in hospitals. You have rebar, steel, concrete in the wall. If fire breaks out in one of the rooms, they have to have in building codes the ability for it not to spread to another.
Right.
Oddly enough, same thing happens when you want to stop cell service from happening. Throw up some concrete, throw up some rebar, throw up some steel. No fire, no cell service. And thank you, Ethan M., for the $5 super chat.
Thanks, Ethan.
Yasmin College Fund is.
Thanks, buddy. It's amazing.
Sneed, how's Yasmin looking in college? How's her kindergarten GPA going?
She's starting kindergarten next year, this upcoming school year.
So, real talk. I know in Colorado there is a tax-free savings account that is at 3 times base rate. So, Marc Hoyle.
Thanks, Marc.
Thanks for joining the party with your $5.
Thanks.
So, there's a savings account, tax-free. You can put in for school expenses. Has a 3% interest rate rather than a 1% here. You doing something like that with Yasmin's money?
With Yasmin's money, we are doing a savings. We're doing a CD. And we're also investing in, we got an ETF.
Yep.
And we're going to do an index as well. So I'm going to have one of each.
Real talk. I'm about to put like 15 grand into a year CD.
Nice.
So I can get a little more money for a house down payment.
Nice. Good.
Oh, and thank you, No Radio, for the $5 super chat. Saying nothing, but appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Adam. Thank you, man.
My retirement's an index, and I'm getting a 12% return at the moment.
I got STRS, Pete. As an educator, so I'm good there for
myself. You
got
the pension.
Yeah, I'm good there for myself, but
I wish I got the pension and not the index.
Yeah, see that, but I'll tell you what, Pete. I mean, IRA is an option. There's things you could do to set yourself up. You're still young, dude.
I'm not really worried about my retirement fund at the moment. After taxes, I'm only bringing in about 40 grand. When I graduate, I'm looking at like 80 to 100 after taxes. So I'm gonna be building my retirement nest egg with that.
No, for sure. For sure. Oh, dude, the community is amazing. Bro, it's always been this way, honestly. This is the best community ever. I've said that from day one when I had 1 subscriber, 5 subscribers, 50, 100, 1,000. Now we're approaching 15,000. I've
Hey,
always said that this is the best community, man.
I think I jumped in around the 50 mark.
You were there. You were there early. You and Dave B. You know, you guys were some of the OGs of the SLT.
Dave B and I are, when we have time, we're trying to figure out how to set up a website for all your podcast stuff and whatnot.
Oh, I'd love that, bro.
We have smtnation.com.
Nice, dude.
I just have to figure out how to set up my site.
Nice. Technoid, you were in pretty early too. You were in there pretty early as well. Lawrence was early.
I gotta track down more Technoid videos and pass out to them.
Dude, he's been doing a lot of content on the Google Pixel stuff. The upcoming 6 and 6 Pro or XL, whatever that becomes.
I'm probably gonna dip on a 7.
So you're gonna skip this generation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I upgrade phones every other year.
But wait, so you have a 5 right now?
Yep.
What'd you do with your 3? What'd you do with your 3? You traded in?
No.
So you still have it?
I'm using it as a extra 20 gigs of hotspot.
Okay.
And
I still have my 3XL. Still a beast phone, dude.
Still a beast phone. Doesn't have the battery issues that the one had. Actually, I can watch. Was it 2100 something? No.
Yeah, that one does 4K.
Yeah,
Quad HD. Quad HD.
I do Quad HD on that. Is
it 2140 or 2160?
Yeah, 2160. Get 2160 on that one, just like the Fold. But you know, some connections, the Pixel 3 XL doesn't burn up on the DSS. So sometimes I get a better Quad HD experience on that in the hand.
Bro, the DSS situation, Pete.
Verizon shouldn't have put that icon up there. They were faster without it.
I don't like these.
Well, I don't have it on.
You know, a lot of
can't
people
figure out how to disable the DSS.
On which phone?
The Fold.
The Fold.
Just download Samsung Band Selector on the Play Store.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I'll be back in a minute.
Send him the command, Carlos.
All he has to do is just Samsung Band Select the app,
and then just put LT only.
Yeah, that would be the best way.
Yeah, Ron's an OG. He's been in the community for a while, as well as John.
Let me
Ron.
Untangle myself.
David's been riding with us for a while too. Landon's one of the originals too.
Landon's
He's one of the first 100.
So the super chats I sat down for, I think we're at like $130. So be right back. Let me grab the phone.
What up, GS? Yeah, I would say that sounds about right, Adam. A couple of years. Class of 2019. Make LTE great again.
Well, AT&T's doing a good job at that. I'll tell you that.
Verizon deployed LTE when everyone was still using HSPA. Now LTE is standard. Now Verizon is deploying millimeter wave, and everyone else is deploying low-band 5G. History repeats itself. Well, the answer to help people get fast 5G for now is you're trying to scale it. You got to go mid-band. But in the meantime, I still think you've got to deploy millimeter wave as much as your company can. Right? So for AT&T, you know, they're picking their spots in their urban centers. For Verizon, it's pretty much everywhere they can monetize it for home and mobility. And then for T-Mobile, it's just, you know, it's kind of on the back burner. It's just not a priority. Yeah, N2 or N5. It's not great, bro. You're better off in LTE if you don't care about an icon.
So, what is it called? The Samsung Band Selector?
Samsung Band Selector.
Okay, I got my Wi-Fi on.
Hey, is it cool if we wrap up the show, Pete? I gotta...
Yep.
Well, you guys can stay on after in the backstage, but let's wrap up the show.
Is it by Ray W?
It has a little picture. Like, show the picture real quick. Let's see. No, that doesn't. It's like a picture. It looks like a red and blue and yellow in the middle, like swirled and shit, something like that.
I'd like to see if I can.
Mm-hmm.
Can I pull up my supers? I think I can.
Oh, we got a super chat from Big Lou, dog. Dowd.
Snap.
Yo, just put in a little to the pot.
Yeah. Thanks, Big Lou. I appreciate you, man. You didn't have to, bro. You guys are so kind.
So
let me do some shout outs. Like I got the list of all the super chats.
When Verizon threw on the DSS, the basement got down to 2 megs a second on Verizon, which is worse than T-Mobile band 2.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
No capacity.
So what do I throw up on the band selector?
LT all or LT only on the left.
Success.
Yeah.
Well, since he's in the market where it depends, go to put GSM WCDML.
No, he's good. He says LT all, bro. He's good.
GSM WCDMI?
I would, just in case, and LTE, the one that has all three. Because remember, his market sometimes he...
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, sometimes we hit 3G here.
All right, y'all.
It's weird, man. T-Mobile, I don't get 3G, but some locations throwing on 3G, I get better YouTube.
Big shout out to Mr. Carter, Lawrence, Darian, Hector, Andre.
What is DGAF stand for?
TDN Solutions Technology, MS, John, Chame, Carlos, John again, David, Big Rubes, Keon, Ethan, Marc, No Radio, and Big Lou. Thank you guys for your super chats tonight. Also, big shout out to everybody who commented and getting involved in the live chat, contributing, discussing the topics there. Appreciate you guys tuning in to watch. Hashtag 2LiveCrew for those of you here in the live stream, and then hashtag Replay Crew for all you watching this on DVR. And if you want to help out the channel, you don't need to donate. Donations are really nice of you, but you don't have to. You can actually help the channel by hitting the thumbs up, like button, and then sharing this to all your social media apps. So if you got Facebook, Twitter tweeters, you got Instagram, whatever you got, you could share it to Reddit too, just not the T-Mobile subreddit because they hate me there, dude. So,
Dude, I found Reddit to be a lot like 4chan.
It's kind of toxic, bro.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The moment you go in there and you start posting, it becomes toxic.
Yeah, it's kind of toxic. So, but yeah, thank you guys for sharing in advance. Oh, and if you're eating dinner or snacking, definitely hashtag Ravioli Gang. Most definitely.
What is
big shout out to BG Grizzly?
Roland talking about with T-Mobile users blaming Samsung for N71 SA?
What is the situation?
I don't know, but hey, 71 SA is nice when I got it.
It sucks. It's so unstable here,
dude. But 10 megahertz and like in Utah, like
so it's stable out there.
Pretty stable.
Yeah.
720p, no buffering, no complaints.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I think it's market to market. I've already told you, Pete.
Hey, all carriers, it's market to market.
The engineering team here is dropping the ball, dude. There is a lot of trouble at a lot of these sites.
They dropped the shawarma when they took down your Sprint site over there.
Ian, good to see you, man. 15 by 15 N71 life.
Yeah, you got a good 720p on that.
Yeah, and
as long as it's stable. Yo, Chanel Way to Wait with a PayPal dono. Thank you, Chanel Way to Wait.
Who's that, Lawrence?
Yep.
Lawrence he's awesome, man. Thanks, Lawrence. I appreciate you, man.
All right. Got a Suns game going on?
The Suns are on tonight?
I don't know.
No,
Suns in 7.
I think it's tomorrow. They got game 6, maybe. Yeah. All right, let's do this. Yeah, I just got the notification now, Lawrence. Thank you, man.
Yeah, N71 sucks in big cities, but rural, it's good.
I'm literally about to set up a Twitter Spaces, Pete. An audio Twitter Spaces.
What the hell is a Twitter space?
You follow me on Twitter, bro. You'll get the notification. I'm going to go ahead and create that Twitter space. We'll do the after party. Los, I'll see you there, okay?
All right.
Be on it
All right,
a
y'all.
little.
All right. We'll see you guys. Take it easy. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.